Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Thursday, June 29, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comment section below. Miami Marlins vs Boston Red Sox. Miami is currently the top wild card team in the NL and is just a game back of the Atlanta Braves for first in the division. A big reason for their success is their offense, as the Marlins /.263, .323, .399, which rank 6th, 14th, and 20th. On the road, Miami is slashing .255, .320, .403, while in June are slashing .274, .331, .405. Against Bello, only Luis Arias has faced him, and he's 1-2. Boston is currently 40-40 written before Wednesday's game and is last in the AL East. The Red Sox will be starting right-hander Brayan Bello, who's 5-4 with a 3.27 ERA, while in his last start, he went 6.2 innings, allowing 1 run on 6 hits against the White Sox. The righty has been solid this season, as he's 2-2 with a 3.35 ERA, while at home, he's 3-3 with a 3.63 ERA. As a pitching staff, Boston has a team ERA of 4.46, which ranks 24th. Offensively, the Red Sox are slashing .260, .331, .424, which ranks 8th, 6th, and 7th in the majors, while at home are slashing .290, .359, .474. In the month of June, Boston is slashing .250, .327, .400, while against left-handers slash .262, .353, .421. Against Luzardo, Hernandez is 1-2, Turner bats .143 and 7 abs, while Duvall is 0-3, and Refsnyder is 0-1. The better way to attack this game is by taking the under, as with neither team facing the starters much, the first few innings likely won't feature a lot of runs, as pitchers usually have the advantage against a hitter when they haven't faced anyone. Although Boston is 35-43-2 in hitting the under, while Miami is 42-36-2 in hitting the under. Meanwhile, in Bello's last 5 starts, he's allowing just 1.6 runs per start, while Luzardo is allowing 2.8 runs per start, so I am expecting both pitchers to continue their success. Take the under in this matchup with 2 good starters on the mound. San Francisco Giants vs Toronto Blue Jays. San Francisco enters this game having won their previous series against the Diamondbacks and having split the first 2 games of their current 3-game series against the Blue Jays. In their most recent 6-1 loss, Logan Webb got the start in the loss for the Giants, tossing 5 innings, in which he allowed 8 hits that resulted in 5 earned runs, while striking out 5. Ross stripling through the remaining 3 innings of the game, allowing 4 hits and an additional run. On the offensive end, the Giants totaled 6 hits and 1 run in the game. Lamont Wade Jr. had the only multi-hit game, going 3-4, while Austin Slater had the team's only home run in the 5th. Overall, it was a tough loss for the Giants, as there was no production on offense. The Giants have yet to announce who will start Game 3 for them, but I would expect either a reliever in the form of an opener or else another starter from the stable. Either way, you're looking at a below-average arm that will likely give up a handful of runs in the first 5 innings. The offense will be more of the focus in this game, as we saw last night the Giants struggle to win when the offense isn't producing. The batting lineup for the Giants has performed relatively well to this point in the season, given the team's winning record. Thairo Estrada leads the team with 76 hits while slashing .276, .329, .447, and J.D. Davis leads the team in RBIs and average with 44 RBIs and a .289, .367, .467 line on the season. Lamont Wade Jr. leads the team in OBP with a .286, .415, .462 line, while Michael Conforto leads the team with 12 home runs, despite slashing only .236, .333, .422 on the season. The Giants don't see much production outside of these hitters, so they would like to see some more consistent performances from the rest of their lineup. Toronto enters this game having won their previous series at home against the Athletics and having split the first 2 games of their current 3-game series against the Giants. In their most recent 6-1 win, Trevor Richards got the start for the Blue Jays and tossed 3 innings, allowing only 1 hit, while striking out 5. Bowden Francis came in and got the win, throwing the next 4 innings, allowing only 1 run off 4 hits. The Blue Jays then used a couple of different arms to close out the game at that point. The Blue Jays totaled 12 hits and 6 runs in the game. George Springer led the offense, going 3-4 with an RBI and a double, while Danny Jansen also went 2-4 with an RBI. Overall, it was a great win for the Blue Jays, as the pitchers performed well and the bats scored enough runs for a comfortable win. I recommend betting on the Toronto Blue Jays to win the money line. The Blue Jays are playing at home, which is a major advantage. They have won 3 of their last 4 games, and they are facing a Giants team that is struggling. The Giants have lost 4 of their last 5 games, and they are dealing with a number of injuries. The Blue Jays have a better offense than the Giants. They have scored more runs per game this season, and they have a more balanced lineup. The Giants are relying on a few key hitters, but the Blue Jays have a number of players who can contribute. The Blue Jays also have a better starting pitcher. Chris Bassitt is 6'3" with a 3.06 ERA this season. He is coming off a strong start against the Yankees, where he allowed just 1 run in 6 innings. The Giants starting pitcher, Logan Webb, is 6'3" with a 3.49 ERA this season. He has not been as good as Bassitt this season, and he is facing a Blue Jays lineup that is hot. Overall, I think the Blue Jays are the better team and they should win this game. I recommend betting on them to win the money line. Taking the over in this game for a couple of reasons. The Giants have yet to announce who will start the game for them, which means we will either see a reliever as an opener or else a starter. Either way, it should be a subpar pitcher that will be susceptible to runs scored. The Blue Jays give Chris Bassitt the start, who has also struggled on the season, posting a 4.32 ERA and a 1.21 WHIP in his first couple starts. Bassitt gave up 4 runs in 5 innings in his previous outing against the Athletics. Expect this to be a high-scoring game with a considerable amount of runs scored by both teams, given the pitching matchup and how offense-oriented both teams are. Over. Milwaukee Brewers vs New York Mets. The Brewers entered Wednesday having gone 4-5 over their last 9 games and in the process have slipped out of first in the NL Central. On Tuesday, they lost 7-2 to the Mets in the second game of the series after serving up the long ball all day. On the season, the pitching staff has allowed 101 home runs through 79 games, the 9th most in baseball. They had a 4.04 team ERA, 1.27 WHIP and .239 opponent batting average. Hauser is making his 7th start of the season, though his last 2 appearances were out of the bullpen. He tossed a scoreless inning of relief against the Guardians last Friday in his last time out. In his career, he has faced the Mets on 4 occasions, 2 of them starts, and has gone 0-1 with a 2.84 ERA and 12.2 innings of work. Milwaukee's offense scored 2 runs in each of the first 2 games of this series, and on the year, they've pushed across 316 runs, the 5th fewest in the game. Through 79 games, the offense was slashing .226, .304, .370. Hitting safely in 18 of 24 games, Christian Yelich has raised his batting average 20 points in the month of June. The former MVP has 10 RBIs and 16 runs in that stretch and has walked 16 times as well. Yelich has drawn 40 free passes this season, tied for 9th most in the National League. The Mets just keep Metsing away their season, going 3-7 over their last 10 games as they get settled into the 4th place spot in the NL East. Their offense did muster a 7-run day on Tuesday behind 4 home runs, 2 of them from Daniel Vogelbach, who has 10 on the year. New York ranked 9th overall with 96 home runs through 79 games. Pete Alonso is 2nd in baseball with 24 long balls on the year, but has just 2 over his last 10 games. Overall, the Mets offense ranked 19th in the game with a .240 team batting average. The Mets and Brewers have both been struggling recently, but the Mets have the edge with Max Scherzer on the mound. Scherzer has been a steady force for the Mets, and his starts have typically resulted in lopsided victories. The Brewers have been struggling on both offense and defense, and they are not a good matchup for Scherzer. I recommend betting on the Mets with the run line. These two put up a total of 9 runs on Tuesday night and have seen a total of 67 of their games push over the respective total this season. That was the second time in 3 games that the Brewers played a 9-run total game. They've put up at least 5 runs in 5 of their last 10 games. The Mets put 7 on Milwaukee Tuesday and can put up a decent run total even in losing situations, recently scoring 6, 8 and 7 runs in respective losses. The over is 4-0 in Scherzer's last 4 starts when the total has been set at 7 to 8.5. The over is also 4-0 in Hauser's last 4 starts on a Thursday and 7-1 in the last 10 meetings between these two teams prior to Wednesday. Take the over.